Josh, I'm excited to have this conversation because your story is a little bit unique. We spent
hmm
2.5 years working together at North Group, and then you left to pursue another opportunity. And then when you decided to sort of like reinvigorate your sales business again, you chose North Group. And I would love to hear why.
It was an unbelievably tough decision to leave North Group before. It wasn't something that I took lightly. It's just an opportunity came up that at the time, like it was a challenge that I needed to take on. Obviously, like I said, I didn't leave because I was unhappy or anything. In my perfect world, I would have still been able to take on this new role and stay with North Group. We'd kind of been working together on a few things, but it didn't work out that way. But fast forward a couple of years, when I made the decision to leave the company that I had left North Group for. The only tough decision really was whether I wanted to stay on in that sort of sector of real estate or if I wanted to get back into the sort of more conventional realtor role. Once I made the decision that, I've kind of followed my heart and I knew like what made me happiest was this sort of more conventional realtor position. Once I made that decision, coming back to North Group was a no-brainer. I mean, it was super easy. I know, because I was still working in real estate, I know that there's so many other opportunities out there. There's other amazing teams and brokerages. And I'd been in touch with them just throughout my other role. So I kind of knew about what was out there, but I honestly never once, I didn't interview anywhere else. I didn't think of anything else. North Group was always felt like home to me. Even when I wasn't working at North Group, it still felt like home. So it was super easy decision to come back. I
Why
mean,
would
yeah.
actually touch on that? Why would a team that is not the same team or the same brokerage still feel like home even when you weren't there?
Uh, I'd been with you with North Group for I think it was about almost 3 years. So I mean, I really put some roots down there. Had a lot of close friendships, like personal friendships and business relationships at North Group. Even while I was gone, like you were so amazing. You still helped me with things. We stayed in touch. You were like you were and still are like such a mentor for me and like such an important part of my business life and my personal life. That I don't know. I think just the culture at North Group is exactly that. It's the type of culture that makes you feel comfortable, makes you feel, at home, supported. And where I ended up working, was a great experience and everything, but I always missed that, and always in the back of my head, I always had thoughts like, I've told you this, like when I had to make decisions on certain things, like what would Amy do? What would Amy do in this situation? Or what would this look like at North Group? So yeah, I mean, it always felt like home.
Just I don't take that you said that lightly, and I consider it a huge honor. Um, you've been on a really visible personal development journey this year, and I'm just curious what prompted it and how it's impacting your life and your business.
Um, yeah. So, I mean, this one's a little bit tougher. Um, I've been sort of dealing, this too, like dealing with some personal stuff, some family stuff for quite a while now. So, I think, obviously my focus had been on that more than anything. Which, I don't regret at all, but like through that, I realized that, I'd really kind of I'd taken the focus off myself, kind of let some things go, with my health, with my, just growth in general, with my career. And I got to a point where I just kind of felt like, it wasn't good for me. It wasn't really good for anybody to continue on down that path, and that I needed to focus on my own, personal development. So once I was able to do that, I mean, being back at North Group, I think really helped me to get into the mindset of, okay, I need to take care of myself. I need to really focus on my career and sort of just like whole life in general. Um, and once I started down that path, obviously you start building momentum, and it's been a game changer for sure. It's really hard to run a business successfully when you're not all in. And part of being able to do that is feeling good about all the other aspects of your life as well, right? So yeah, just getting back into exercise, like working on my own mental health, and really just like setting up the right sort of routines, like daily routines, to make sure that I'm doing the things I need to do to be successful in my career.
Do you think an aspect of this is or do you think that's what contributed towards your success in Q3 and 4? Like, we've been working together again for the latter half of this year, and you achieved what you set out to achieve in a down market. What do
Yeah.
you attribute that to?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I couldn't have done it without that sort of mindset shift. Um, and not just my career, but just sort of like in general, like just really like focusing on myself again. That none of this would have happened without that. But then also within that, that's not just that within itself. You know, being back at North Group again, having the leadership, having the support, just the environment. Honestly, like working in the environment where like I'm working with whether it's the leadership team, the team partners, like such an amazing group of people, so experienced, so knowledgeable, so supportive. After the role that I'd had before, where I was still very much in the real estate world, but not doing this job. Being around this group of people really like helped me to build back up that confidence, build back up that market knowledge. Everything I needed to be able to be successful again. Culture is huge.
Yeah, and I think that that's a good segue for this question. Like, what do you think is crucial for agents to be looking for? We throw around the term culture. I firmly believe it's one of those things that you almost can't explain. It's hard unless you're in it to really understand. If agents are interviewing teams or looking for a brokerage and they're looking for culture, they're looking for elements that are going to help set them up for success, what do you think they should be watching for when they're looking for the right team or brokerage?
Yeah, I guess it's different for different people, and maybe have different priorities. Like for
Yeah.
me personally, I think the environment that you work in is huge. I can't remember what the saying is, something like, you're the sum of the whatever it is, 5 people that you spend the most time with or something. And
Yeah.
it's not exactly the same thing, but I think it's like the same principle totally applies to who you work with, right? Like if you're, before, I've been in real estate for 25 years or something like that. So before North Group, I'd had a lot of different brokerage and real estate experiences. And so I've kind of seen, I don't say I've seen it all, but I've seen a lot. And yeah, like there's nowhere else that I've been, and I've worked with some great people and some great teams and stuff, but there's nowhere else that I've been that has provided like the environment and the culture for me that has really given me what I needed to to have the confidence, to feel supported, to be successful. So number one thing I'd say would be, surround yourself with the right people, have great leadership, and a culture where like, you enjoy work too, right? Like why not be happy with, like, you spend so much time at work or working on your career, or in real estate's a bit different because you're typically working with clients, or doing a lot of work on your own, but like why not work in an environment where you love the people that you work with, and you can have a good time.
So if you were to look back, you have had a successful tenure in real estate, and you're to look back at lessons that you could, you know, sort of like help other agents avoid, what would it be? What's something that you've learned from that you would give as a piece of advice for anyone that's listening to this?
God, I have a few, I guess. I
So
mean, one
we all
exactly
do.
what you.
We all do for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. I think like one for sure, what I just talked about, like surround yourself with the right people. I think that's so important. Like have a mentor. If you're new, even if you're not new, I mean, have a coach, have a mentor, have somebody that you're learning from that's holding you accountable. I think being, you know, and I've suffered from this a lot myself, still working on it. Like be consistent with your activities, be disciplined. I know it can be a tough business to do that. You can get caught up in, you know, if you get busy, you're working with clients, you're making money, everything's going well, and then you know you can let go of some of the activities that got you there, and then you find yourself back in that same spot where you're almost starting over again. So something that I am working on, and I wish that I'd done would have helped me in my career a lot more if I was able to be consistent. I see the agents who are really consistent. I see where their business is over time, and it's like it's really obvious that that's something that's helped them. But I think like a really simple thing that I would pass on to any other agents, especially newer agents, would be like have real estate conversations all the time. Like just put yourself in a position where you are confident enough that you can talk to anybody anytime when the time is right. Not like, you know, not like you're just forcing the conversation, but you know, put yourself in a position where you have the knowledge, you have the confidence to have these real estate conversations with anyone, because that's really what it's all about, right? Having real estate conversations with people is what leads to you know, to having more clients, doing more business.